Gotta finish this up so I can go play some Silksong. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, September 5th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Like I said, Silksong is finally here. The Princess Promised has been released, and reviews are currently not in for it. As I stated a couple weeks ago, there weren't review copies sent out because the developers, Team Cherry, didn't want to send out review copies before people who backed the Kickstarter got their copies. So there's limited reviews, although the couple that I've seen already are very positive and saying that they're a couple hours in now and that it's playing very much similar to Hollow Knight, which, given Hollow Knight's 90 rated Metacritic, I imagine that it falls in that range, which probably means that it's something that you should probably pick up and play. Also saw it's breaking a couple records with over 500k concurrence in the first 4 hours of the game's release. And it's like the number one thing on the Switch eShop right now. So a lot of people are picking up Silksong. I am still working my way through Hollow Knight, so I will not be picking up Silksong just yet, but I can play it on Game Pass as soon as I want to pick that up. So I will be picking it up soon, but I'm going to move on to some other games that are coming out this week. The next one is from Bluebird Team, the team that did The Medium as well as the Silent Hill 2 remake that was well received last year. Their new original IP is called Cronos: The New Dawn. It's currently a 77 rated survival horror game, so they've taken what they've learned from Silent Hill and turned it into, and tried to make their own kind of survival horror game. Currently 77 rated, I hear it's doing pretty well, but there's probably some things missing there. I've kind of read some of the reviews. It's a very Eastern European survival horror game, very much in line with a lot of those games that you've seen recently. So I'll pick it up. I'm still a massive fan of the Bluebird Team and everything they do, so I'll probably pick it up sometime soon, but not currently what I am looking to play right at this minute. Next up, another game launching the same day as Silksong is Hell Is Us, which is a creepy puzzle adventure game. It's the game I'm currently downloaded right now. It's a 78 rated game. I kind of got it because of the main protagonist wields a light sword, which definitely looks and feels like a lightsaber. I'm curious, the action adventure portion of it, you play in third person, and you swing the sword around, and there's other kind of weird gadgets going on, but it's also sci-fi related. I also kind of got it because from the trailers I saw it has a kitschy kind of deep voice protagonist who speaks his thoughts out loud. Felt very Alan Wakey, which is why I picked it up and I'm probably going to be playing that one soon. But yeah, it's currently 778. Still kind of middling reviews, or they're decent reviews, so I managed to pick that one up. Moving right along, in a recent Sony State of Play, they gave us 30 minutes of 007 Hardlight gameplay. I think that's the epitaph for the game, but the 007 game made by IO Interactive. And it showed us kind of 30 minutes of 3 different missions kind of pieced together. One of which is the first mission you play in the game. You can definitely see the Hitman influence. Where you're trying to sneak in and figure your way out, and rather than just putting on someone's skin, you're actually going to be able to distract this person and take that out and get this piece of information and kind of sneak your way through. And then eventually things devolve into what I think is a Nathan Drake kind of Uncharted game, where you're running and gunning and shooting and exploding, and people are bodies are going everywhere. But it seems like you have to unlock that. I actually thought it was really cool. They've kind of disassociated the gadgets and crafting system into just 2 bars that you kind of fill up. And you have electronic gadgets and chemical gadgets. And you use those to kind of figure your way out of the situation, by creating smoke bombs or a laser out of your gun. So rather than having a, utility belt worth of specific things, you just kind of, they've kind of extrapolated that into just you have chemicals or gadgets and you could use them at this point to do one of 2 things. They also make the character look very cool and slick, which is something I would hope for in a 007 game. And he can talk his way out of a lot of situations, or at least get close so he can beat people up. So yeah, it actually got me really excited. There's also a collector's edition that comes with a golden gun for $300, which is infamous in the for anybody who's played the original N64 007 game for being one hit kill. Always loved running around playing golden guns. But yeah, this new 007 game really piqued my interest, and I'm really excited to see what IO's got cooking up. Got confirmation this week that a Call of Duty movie is in the mix. And with that came the news that they passed on Spielberg directing it. Uh, maybe a little bit too simplified, but Spielberg had made a pitch, and like there was some disagreements about what he was wanted to do with it, so they went their separate ways. But just kind of interesting that Call of Duty passed on Spielberg to direct a Call of Duty movie. It sounded like Activision wanted too much control over what was happening, and Spielberg probably doesn't want that much oversight. So exciting to see that. But there is one in the works, so we will see Call of Duty coming to the screen sometime soon. The Perfect Dark reboot almost had a chance at a second life. It was killed by Microsoft in the studio, the Collective, or what was the name of I forget the name of the studio, the Coalition or the Collective or something like that. Microsoft killed them and shuttered the game and shuttered the studio back in July. And Take-Two put in an offer for the game. But unfortunately, Microsoft and Take-Two could not come to a decision or at least come to a conclusive decision on like where the IP would land after they bought the studio. So I can understand from like Take-Two's perspective is like, hey, we come in, we help finance the final portion of this game. We don't want to have to pay a licensing fee for the IP on top of that, on top of the sales that we would generate from this. So I could see where that would kind of get iffy. And obviously Microsoft, I'm surprised that they killed the game after rebooting it after like 20, 30 years, but still feeling like gun shy about giving up the IP entirely. So all around, I would have liked to see the game come back out. So unfortunate that Perfect Dark reboot will not get another version. Unfortunately, they couldn't come to a conclusion. I was looking forward to a potentially revitalized Perfect Dark reboot. Soon you'll be able to order electronics via Uber Eats. In a partnership with Uber Eats and what seems to be Best Buy, you will be able to order games and controllers or HDMI cords, as well as food from the Uber Eats app. Pretty interesting stuff. Like, I assume there's already apps out there that like go and buy groceries and electronics for you anyway, but Uber Eats is trying to be the like catch-all app where you just go on and whatever you want to buy, you can buy it via Uber Eats, and now they've expanded into electronics. So it'll be interesting when you can order a side of fries and a video game delivered to you all in the same car. To celebrate the launch of Outer Worlds 2 coming this November, I believe it's November 1st. They are partnering up with a brand I wouldn't have necessarily gone with, but 5 Hour Energy. They're bringing 2 new flavors to 5 Hour Energy to celebrate Outer Worlds 2. So interesting stuff going on there. Always one of those brand deals that make you scratch your head. But 2 new flavors of 5 Hour Energy for you people, you caffeine freaks out there. Another game not afraid to launch on the week that Hollow Knight Silksong came out. Cataclysmo was one that caught my eye at I think this was at Summer Games Fest, and it's been around for I think over a year, even last year's Game Awards. It's a castle building tower defense game where you kind of build up your castle and you have to defend it against waves. It's got a really cool, unique art style. The trailers never really gave you a lot to go off of, but it launched this week onto Game Pass. So if you're looking for something to play besides Silksong, you can pick up Cataclysmo. Last but not least, our Lara Croft has finally been identified for the upcoming Amazon show, directed and written by Phoebe Waller-Bridge of Fleabag fame. Sophie Turner, that's right, Sansa Stark will be Lara Croft in the upcoming TV show. So it'll be interesting to see how, where she sits on the spectrum of Alicia Vikander and, with more serious, down to earth role, or uh, Angelina Jolie's more like hyper fighty and very much of its time role. Laura Croft has been found, and we will soon see them on the silver screen. So interesting to see that. But that's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.